All right, guys, thanks so much for hopping on to our call tonight, our new coach call. It is April 17th already. It's kind of crazy and hard to believe that it's April 27th, or April 17th, not 27th. I'm not rushing the month that badly. Tonight, you just finished up week 2 of your training, and you're doing great. We have one more week of that training. Kind of hard to believe, right? That it's already over halfway down and you have one more week. And then after you complete your coach training, you'll be added into our bigger team page, and it's just a really great atmosphere to be a part of. So as you were going through all of your assignments this week and all of your training, we really dove into talking to people, right? Sending out those messages. Last week, it was all about making sure your presence is up on social media. You learned how to use your social media more effectively as a Beachbody coach, sharing your story, and now we are talking to people. We are messaging them. We're inviting them to come join us on our journey. We're inviting them on the train with us. And some people this week probably said, yeah, I'll hear some more information about that. Maybe some people totally ignored your invitation to come join the hop on the train. Maybe some people told you no. And that's just how the cookie crumbles some weeks. And we still invite and we still ask people to come join us on our journey. That's how it goes. Now, tonight, what we're going to cover is, as you're talking to people, it's really important that you understand how to lead the conversation and be in control of that conversation. Because I know for me, whenever I first started out, there were lots of people who I talked to who were very strong, dominant personalities and would then bombard me with questions, and then I would lose total control of the conversation. And these are just, I'm going to give you some tips on how to lead a conversation, be in control of it, and still, close that sale with class and make sure that you're explaining it and everything. And even if you don't end up having a new challenger at the end of the conversation, you're left with the potential of a referral, a not right now, or a follow-up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my PowerPoint here with it. Here we go. So we're going to talk about how to lead a conversation and some other helpful tips when you're talking to your customers. So here's what you can expect to learn tonight. Tools to help be in control of the conversation, to really, be that leader, have confidence come across even on Messenger and Facebook, and then also the order to talk to people. Because how many of you guys, when you were messaging this week, had somebody say, yeah, I'm interested, how much does it cost? Right off the bat, they wanted to know how much it cost and the price. And I'm going to teach you tonight how to kind of take those objections right out of the gate and how to handle them more effectively and how to take control back of that conversation. And then also just the order to talk to people. So whenever they ask you what the price is right away, you know how to kind of steer the conversation back in the direction that you want to take it. So first step, we always ask questions. That's the only way you're going to learn about this person. You ask them questions to find out more. I get so many times people will say, hey, they have this, and this. And I'm like, okay, well, what are their limitations? I need to know more about them. If you always center your conversation with somebody about them, about learning about them, about putting their best interests first, that's always going to make them feel appreciated and that you're listening to them. So whenever people always ask me questions, this is how I do. I acknowledge their questions, but I always steer the conversation back to where I want it to go. So here's an example of that. So you send your initial invite and, hey, would you like some more information about my upcoming challenge group? And they say, yes, I would love some more information. How much does it cost? I get that probably 90% of the time. All right. So here's what not to do. Don't go, great, it's going to be $140. All right. When you do that, you're going to scare them away because you've put no value behind that $140 yet. They have no idea how little of that $140 is in comparison to what they're going to get on the back end of that. So here's what you do. Great, there is a fee involved, but it all depends on the program that you choose. Can I ask you a few questions to help figure out a great program for your goals and your lifestyle? All right, you acknowledge their question of how much it costs, but then you steer the conversation back in the direction that you wanted it to go. It does vary based on the program that you figure out for them about how much it does cost. It varies on the way they sign up, whether they sign up as a customer or a discount coach. But I justify their question by saying, yes, there is a fee involved, and we're definitely going to get to that, but it varies based on the program you choose. So can I ask you a few questions to make sure we get the best program for you figured out? That's how you take control back of the conversation. That is my go-to, and I very rarely then get a response negatively from that. I always get, yeah, absolutely, ask your questions, that's no problem. So because I've justified that, I've acknowledged their question. I always use the example, I'm a teacher, used to be a former teacher, so I always use the example, because we've all been students before, of you're sitting in a classroom and you have a question that you need to ask. And you're sitting there and your hand's raised and you're waiting patiently, but the teacher's not calling on you. And she's not calling on you. And she's not calling you. And she's just talking and talking and talking. Are you listening to anything that teacher is saying? No, because you want your question answered, right? So if you just completely ignore their question, they're not going to listen or hear anything you say before their question is either justified or answered. So always make sure you justify their question and give them something to satisfy that question. Always. Never ignore their question. All right, so now you need to ask them some questions, right, to get to know them and figure out what program is the best. So these are the questions that I ask every single customer. Every single customer. I go, okay, what would be your overall goal with your program? I always put lose weight, tone up, better nutrition, etc. Some people will go into really great detail here, others won't. Sometimes I just get back, you know what, I really just want to lose some weight. Other times people go into great detail and they'll tell me, their whole life story. And they may even go into my next question before I even ask it. So I always go, okay, well, what has been your biggest setback for reaching that goal so far? If it was a weight loss goal, what's been your biggest setback for losing that weight so far? What's been your biggest setback for making your nutrition better? Always re-say what they've already told you. And then how would you feel if you were able to reach that goal? How would it make you feel if you were able to lose that weight and really get your nutrition under control? Because you've emotionally attached to them then at that point, because they're going to tell you something. Maybe it's, I would feel awesome if I could get my nutrition under control because I know it would rub off on my children. You're emotionally connecting with them at that point. What types of workouts do you like? What types of workouts do you hate? Because I would hate to recommend like 22-minute hardcore for them if they have terrible knees or something like that. Or if they hate weightlifting, I wouldn't recommend hammer and chisel because it's a lot of lifting. All right. How would you describe your current fitness level? Beginner, intermediate, advanced? How much time do you have to dedicate to a workout each day? And it's so funny. I always ask that, how much time do you have to dedicate? Because usually people say, oh, I could probably dedicate an hour, hour and a half to a workout. And they think that they need some, astronomical amount of time to have an effective workout. And then I always follow that up with, really, how does a 30-minute effective workout sound for you? And they're like, that would be amazing, because nobody wants to spend an hour to an hour and a half working out if they don't have to. And this is probably the most important question that I ask. I always ask them about special circumstances, allergies, injuries, crazy work schedules, anything that I should know about. The allergies one is really important because a lot of people are lactose intolerant, right? And if they are lactose intolerant, regular Shakeology is going to upset their stomach because it has dairy in it. But vegan Shakeology is dairy-free. So that's something that I always make sure I ask them about allergies or injuries because I need to know about those special circumstances, especially if they're like a vegetarian or anything like that. Like, you need to know about that so you know how to then tell them about the nutrition plan of the 21-day fix to ease their question of, yes, this can definitely work for a vegetarian or a vegan. I've worked with several of them in the past. Okay. Do you see how you're just having a conversation here? You're pretty much interviewing your potential challenger and you're being a human being. I very rarely copy and paste these questions because in between asking them, I relate back to them where they'll say, you know what, I need to lose about 10 pounds and then I need to tone up. I'll say, you know what, I was in the same boat whenever I started, so I absolutely know where you're coming from. I always hold a conversation in the midst of these questions being asked. All right. And have you noticed this is all before I've talked about any price for any program or any program at all? I'm getting to know them first. I'm getting to know them on a personal level before I even go into Beachbody Coach Allie. I am just Allie holding a conversation with them right now. Okay. Don't be a robot when you talk to somebody. Be an actual person. Just hold a conversation. So now that we have asked all of these questions and we've gotten to know our potential challenger, we are ready to recommend a program. All right. you should have a pretty good understanding of what to recommend. And I will say that for still 90% of the people I talk to, 21 Day Fix is always my go-to for a program recommendation. You'll find as well that whatever you're doing and whatever you're sharing, people are going to want to do. So don't feel like you have to totally change what you're doing to meet like the promos of the month or anything like that. You're just sharing your journey and people are going to want to do what you are doing. But 90% of the time, 21 Day Fix is what I recommend. So I always restate their original goals when I recommend it. So I said, okay, all right, I have a great program in mind for you. It has 30-minute workouts that are similar to a circuit training, but also has a wide variety because this potential customer told me she likes circuit training workouts. It also has an amazing nutrition plan that will really make dieting non-existent and transition you right into a healthy lifestyle. It is really going to help you with your goals of weight loss and better nutrition. I always restate their goals in there, and I always cater that initial recommendation around what they told me because you want to find the best program for the fit for them. Now I'm describing the 21 Day Fix here, and I'm giving them a little teaser to see how this is going to fit in your life. It's similar to the circuit training that you really liked. She very blatantly told me, I don't want to diet. I'm not successful with diet. So I told her, you're not going to diet. It's going to transition right into a lifestyle, and it's going to help you with your goals of weight loss and better nutrition. Now we explain the program, right? I always say after that point, can I give you a few more details about the program? This is where it's hard to not word vomit, all right? Because we want to be so knowledgeable about the program, and we are knowledgeable about the program, especially if we're doing it. But remember, we don't want to word vomit on people. Break down that program into clear, succinct, easy to understand words. All right, so for me, for every program, I usually explain the meal plan, the workouts, the challenge group, because those are the three things that they get mainly for working with you. So I always explain the meal plan and explain to them that nutrition is just as important in our challenge groups as the actual workout, and that how we help them meal plan and whatnot. And I explain for like the 21 Day Fix, the different containers and how you figure out your own calorie bracket and everything. Then I talk about the workouts, very basic overview of what they are. And then I talk about the challenge group because that's the best part, right? And I always tell them in there what the game changer was for me. For me, it was the challenge group. I needed the accountability. I needed somebody to be there on day 12 whenever the novelty of the first week wore off and I was starting to get tired and starting to get sick of it. And I needed that extra kick, and that's what the challenge group did for me. You can also send a video from your back office explaining the program. This works well for me, especially if I am, forming somebody, talking to somebody while my kids are up and around. This works great. So I'll say, hey, I have a great program in mind for you. It's right at lunchtime for my kids. Can I send you over a quick video about it for you to look at? And most of the time they go, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and send it over. So in your back office, under the news and training, no, not news and training, marketing tab, it's over on the left-hand side. There is an area where you can go to get all the videos, the promo videos for every single program. And they're great. You can send the link right from there. And it'll work, or you can send it right from YouTube. Team Beachbody has a YouTube channel, so make sure you get the one from Team Beachbody, and it's just the promo video for the programs. The video works awesome because it's quick, it's succinct, it shows them before and afters. That's always great for people who are really visual, who need to see the workouts because it gives you a little sneak peek of the workouts in there, all of that stuff. So now we've explained the program. Did you notice that we still are not ready to share a price tag yet? Okay, this is how we close with class. Now, after you're done explaining everything, don't just say, so do you have any questions about it? You kind of have to guide your potential challenger to answer those questions to really see where they're at with this program. So I always ask these questions. I say, so tell me, what did you like best about the program? Okay, maybe they like the challenge group aspect. Maybe they like the nutrition. Maybe they like the workouts. All right, then I always ask them, can you see yourself incorporating this into your lifestyle right now? And then any questions you may have before I grab a price for you. All right, this allows them to ask any questions that they have, if they've had any, if they can think of anything that may not work for them or anything like that. Do you see how I'm asking them to reflect back on what we've talked about? And you can really gauge and see, oh, this person's really interested or they're not. It allows you to kind of see where they're at. All right, now we're ready for a price. I never send just the flat price, okay? I always send a breakdown of what they'll get, because we've taken the time to have this conversation with somebody, get to know them, and we've really come to a way where we want to put value behind that product, right? Now it's not just $140 or $160 or whatever their challenge pack is. It's $140 and they know what they're getting for their money. And we're going to remind them in a price breakdown of everything that they get. Okay. Now, usually whenever I've formed somebody correct and had a genuine conversation with them, I usually get, wow, you get a lot for your money. That's usually the response that I get from people, not a, wow, that's really expensive. Okay. So this is how we do it. And what you do is, if you have put value in the program, then the price isn't scary anymore for that person. It's either 100% doable for them, or your customer now has an idea of how much they will be spending at a later date to work with you. That's really crucial, all right? Even whenever somebody says, I can't really afford that right now, but it sounds amazing, they don't have an icky taste in their mouth, because I never was really salesy when I talked to them. I held a genuine conversation, and I put value behind the products, okay? And then I back it up on my wall and what they're seeing, right? And how the products are working. So it's now 100% doable, and your customer now has an idea of what they will be spending at a later date if they're not able to. All right. So I always tell them about the money back guarantee. Like for a lot of our programs have a 30 or a 60-day money back guarantee. That's always great for people. Hey, give it a try for 30 days. If you hate it at day 21, we can return it and you can get a full refund. No questions asked at all. Sometimes that really helps people to be like, okay, I can try it then and see how it goes. So here's your call to action. I want you to implement at least one thing from this training into your conversations this week. Maybe you're going to take time and really form people better and ask them questions and get to know them. Maybe you're going to really make sure you explain the programs in like 3 separate ways, with the meal plan, the challenge group, the workouts. And I don't want you to word vomit on people, all right? I want you to share your personal experience with the programs, with our products, more than you throw facts at people. Okay, I always put in there, like for example, when I'm talking about the 21-day fixed meal plan, I'll always put in there, I was shocked at how much I am able to eat on this program and not be hungry. I've never been hungry, I'm never starving, and it doesn't even feel like I'm dieting. When you talk from your personal experience, that speaks volumes in comparison to just rattling off facts. So facts tell and stories sell. So speak from your personal experience. And I really want you to take the time to get to know your customer before you recommend a program or reveal a price tag. Okay. Now you also have to play this by ear. For example, Joy, a coach on our team, whenever she approached me about wanting to come and be a coach, because she wasn't a challenger first, she wanted to come right for the coaching opportunity. I know Joy personally, and I know that she's a very straight shooter, and that price tag wasn't going to scare her away. She just wanted to know it, and she's a very matter of fact. She wants to know all the facts, and she wants to know that. So I didn't take the time to really form her because we were already friends, but I knew the price tag wasn't going to scare her away, if that makes sense. So take it as a case-by-case basis as well. You can usually tell by the conversation, and you can usually tell, especially if you know that person, if they're ready for that price tag right away, or if you really need to take the time and form them and really ease them into that price tag. All right. So that's my meat of the call for you guys, was to show you guys how to really form somebody, get them through the process. I use this process on everybody and I have had a lot of great success with it. Do you guys have any questions for me? Have you guys gotten any objections this week or anything to that effect that you have any questions on? Anything at all? Was this helpful as far as, oh, Jess, do you have a question? Go ahead. I can't hear you. No, you might just have to, you can try unplugging maybe. That might help. I can't hear you. You can, if you can type, or you can message me and I can answer it. It's up to you. While she's typing, do you have any questions, Mary? There is a 30-day money-back guarantee on Shakeology, yes. And that's a bottom of the bag. Like, they can drink it for 30 days and return it. That's totally fine. It has to be within that 30 days, though. And here's the thing. If they buy, like, a challenge pack and they're like, well, I'd love the 21-day fix, but I hate Shakeology, they have to return everything. So if they bought the challenge pack, it's the whole challenge pack is a 30-day money-back guarantee, not each individual piece. Okay. Yeah, it is really, really good because that gets a lot of people to try it for 30 days because they know that there's an out if they hate it. And whenever you talk about Shakeology, make sure you're just speaking from experience, because I've had a lot of people who don't necessarily like it. And I've also had challengers who try it and then they just can't get it to where they like it. And that's okay. It's not for everybody. That's hard for me to fathom because I drink it every day, sometimes twice a day, and I love it every single time. It never gets old. But I do have a challenger who just doesn't like it. She can't drink it, whatever reason. But she loves the performance line. She loves Energize. She loves Recover. So when she bought her challenge pack, she hated Shakeology. So I was like, well, I know you didn't like it, but what if you tried this instead? And she's loving the performance line. So a lot of our challenge packs have that option of, like, for example, 22-minute hardcore. You can get it with Shakeology for 30 days, or you can get it with Energize and Recover. So that's something that you can always offer to people too, especially if they don't like Shakeology. So yeah, no problem at all. I'm glad that helped. Do you guys have any other questions about anything? Are you getting good feedback from people? Are you, is it getting easier to send messages to people and talk to them? It should be. The more you do it, the easier it gets. I know for me, I contemplated. I distinctly remember after my first challenge group, I was like, I think I want to give this coaching thing a try. Like, I love this challenge group. This is awesome. And I was like, let's just see how it goes at first. I just want to be a hobby coach. And now here I am, 2 years later, this is awesome. I love it. It's my passion. But I remember being so nervous to post my before and after pictures. So nervous. Like, I can remember sitting there, I can remember talking to my husband and being like, are you okay if I post these pictures? Because I'm in a swimsuit and everything. He's like, you're in a bathing suit. Like, it's fine, whatever. But just very conscientious and everything. And the feedback was amazing. Like, I didn't get people judging me. They were just praising me and helping me along my journey. They were rooting for me. And that's what people are going to be doing. And whenever I sent out my first invite, I was so nervous that the person I was inviting was going to think that I thought she was fat and that she needed to lose weight and all of these things. And as long as you are using your platform, which is your social media, genuine, sincere, from the right place, people will never misconstrue what you're doing. I promise you. And if they do, they're one in how many? And does their opinion really matter that much? Okay? Because if you have a passion for this and you are in this to help people, you don't let one person squash your ability to reach hundreds. Okay? And that's really what it boils down to. All right. In my 2 years, I think I had one person I've had to block from Facebook because it was just like, I can't handle your negativity. Get away from me. And that was in 2 years of doing this. And, that's whenever you dive into your personal development and you really take it by storm. Have you guys found a personal development that speaks to you, that you like? We're trying to expose you to a whole bunch of different personal development during your coach training so you can really dial in and find something that you like. Like, for me, I love Brendon Burchard. I love Chalene Johnson. I love Michael Hyatt. That's another guy you guys can look into. He's wonderful. Those are my go-tos for personal development, and I love the National Wake Up Calls. But those are great personal development things. So you should be dialing in and finding some personal development that you're like, oh, I really like that. Like, I want to subscribe to that one. Hyatt is Hyatt, like the hotel. Michael Hyatt. And it's Great. I love his podcast. His podcasts are very actionable. Like for me, I love actionable personal development. That's why you'll see that's how I present to you guys, very actionable, like your call to actions for today. Like I like knowing what's expected of me. And his personal development is very much like, here are 10 ways to become a morning person. And he goes through 10 steps of how to do them. Or here are, 8 ways to grow your blog. And he goes through 8 steps with it. So I really like his actionable personal development. So find something that speaks to you and then stick with it and really keep going as you go through it. For your product of the product, if you are loving your program, make sure everybody knows that you're loving your program and that you're using it. All right. And you're sharing it with people and you're showing people that you're a product of the product every single day. All right. Remember, you don't need to have 6-pack abs. You don't need to have a rocking body. You just need to be using the products and showing that you're a product of them. Remember, it's not just physical, it's your mental transformation. It's everything you can talk about and how it's changed you. All right. That's being a product of the product too. Do you guys have any other questions for me? I don't want to keep you, just to keep you. So I'll let you get back to your Sunday night. If you have questions, post in your coach training, and make sure you reach out to us if you need anything. All right. All right. We will talk to you later. Do you guys have questions about how to sign people up or anything like that? Or are you guys pretty good? Do you have a question, Jess? No? You guys good? All right. If you guys think of anything, let me know, and I will talk to you guys later, all right? All right, we'll talk to you later, guys. Have a great night. Bye.